Now on GMA with a closer look at the presidential race, and joining us are ABC White House correspondent MaryAlice Parks and contributing political correspondent Rachael Bade. Good morning to you both. Good morning. So Rachael, let's start with you, because obviously we've got this big Dick Cheney sort of endorsement of Kamala Harris. That obviously shows that something's happening in the GOP, and obviously Kamala Harris is going to really capitalize on that.
Dick Cheney endorsing a Democrat. I mean, none of us had this on our bingo cards, frankly. Donald Trump has tried to downplay this, saying that he's an irrelevant rhino, he's a sort of a has-been, but this is big. I mean, if you think about it, Dick Cheney was one of the single greatest boogeymen for Democrats for a long time. He was the architect of the Iraq War. They called him a war criminal, and he demonized Democrats in return. And now they're going to be working together, which is just something we never predicted just a couple of years ago. A few points on this. Number one, it's not going to convince a ton of Republican voters to vote for Harris, but it might influence some. And in a tight election, just a little bit matters at the margins here. It also gives Trump-wary Republicans who don't want to vote for him a reason to vote for Harris. I mean, this is a guy who's very influential, and he could inspire some of those votes. And lastly, I would say that the Harris campaign is absolutely going to capitalize on this. I mean, I was just talking with someone close to the campaign. They said that this basically helps her build this, broad coalition that she's going to need to defeat Donald Trump. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see if she's all of a sudden touting Dick Cheney and either campaign ads or on stage. And wow, this is just sort of mind-blowing that that's happening.
It will be interesting to see how they try to capitalize on that. One of the top issues, of course, is the economy, and MaryAlice, an area where Trump has an edge in the polls, but we're seeing Harris really try to go on the offensive by unveiling new economic policies ahead of the debate.
Yeah, absolutely. She's going after these more moderate sort of Chamber of Commerce type Republicans. I mean, this was a bit of a Biden strategy, but she's really doubling down with some new policy proposals. She was out there pitching a 28% capital gains tax. That's an increase in the current tax, but way less than what President Biden was pitching. Probably also a little bit more reasonable, something that she might actually be able to get through Congress if she wins. And she pitched a 10-fold increase in tax deductions for small businesses. I mean, look, Democrats have long thought that these sort of Chamber of Commerce style Republicans don't feel like they have a home in the MAGA movement, that they're really still gettable. You know, it's going to be interesting on the debate stage, I think, too, if she zeroes in on the cost of childcare. This is something that, of course, businesses are talking about. It's impacting women in the workplace. And last week, Donald Trump got that question, what he would do to lower the cost of childcare. And he fumbled. I mean, he gave a word salad non-answer that a lot of people in the business community, a lot of moms, a lot of Democrats really jumped on. So I imagine that sort of across the board. To Rachel's point, you know, she's going to try to pitch herself as someone that is building a coalition, even on the economy, that includes everyone from Elizabeth Warren to Liz Cheney.
So, MaryAlice, let's talk more about the debate and some of the lines of attack that we could see both from Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
I'm thinking of this line in her stump speech. She says, Donald Trump, if you have something to say it to my face. Mm-hmm. I mean, those are fighting words. That is someone who sounds ready to rumble. Like, she has been absolutely itching for this. You know, the Democrats I talked to, they say that they want to see that prosecutor tone from her. They feel like there's so much for her to talk about, especially when it comes to January 6th, when it comes to election denial. I think that a lot of Democrats feel like Hillary Clinton, even Joe Biden had their own baggage, but that she is maybe unique in that if she has less baggage, she can really focus in on Trump's baggage. You know, Trump, for his part, his lines of attack about her have been all over the board. You know, I think that we're going to likely see him focus on policy, talk about places where she's flip-flopped. But on the stump, he often says things like, she's just not smart. And I just feel like on the debate stage, those personal attack lines are not going to land.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch for sure. Big pivotal debate coming up.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. MaryAlice, Rachael Bade, as always, we appreciate it.